It is thinking.
She's breaking the rules, everybody. She went early this morning.
I went like
Hello.
9 seconds early. Thank you very much.
Look at her go. Oh my gosh. Happy Friday, everybody. So excited that it's Friday. TGIF. You guys,
so exciting. Oh my
if you
gosh.
haven't already, make sure that you subscribe to this podcast. Do it. You want to make sure that you're getting alerted to our happy little faces every single morning. So subscribe, click subscribe, and get us wherever you get your podcasts. Do it. Shove us.
Right in the pocket.
Shove us there. Right.
So it's going to be a long show.
You think?
Lots of stuff happened yesterday. So many things. Oh my goodness. And we're going to get to all of them. And we're going to kind of do them in order. So, I mean, we both obviously realize the big news of the day is the big boy presser.
Right.
But we're not going to cover that first because we're going to go in order of the things that happened all throughout the day yesterday because there was a lot of that too. Okay. And we I don't know why I did that. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not sorry.
Hi, Chris.
You know,
hi,
Chris.
Christopher White. Hey, Chris. What's going on? Hey. Hey.
I'm just not exactly sure how that happened, but I have no regrets. No regrets about that.
No Friday regrets.
That's right. Also, I just realized I forgot to do the thing that makes it so I can see super stickers. So I hope that works today, but like, yikes, it may not. So, but speaking of super stickers, we already have a tip over on Locals from SZ Plot, who says, "Good morning from coastal North Carolina. Dinner with girlfriends from high school last night. The reality of a Kamala / Roy Cooper ticket was raised by a reliable source. Cooper is a squeaky wheel compared to Gavin because he couldn't succeed in turning North Carolina blue. He tried. The Biden camp sure have been focusing on North Carolina. Trump will win North Carolina in 2024 as he did in 2016 and 2020. But I didn't even think about Roy Cooper as a possible VP candidate."
Just that's out of left field. Totally.
I did not think about that either.
We've not thought about that. So thank you for that info and intel.
And I do hope that North Carolina goes to Trump. And I very much hope that because my son will be voting there for the first time ever for Trump. And so there will be one additional Trump voter in North Carolina this fall. So shut up, Texas ass tickler. I don't know why. I think that's a joke, but like
I think it's that's the greatest name ever. Texas ass tickler. Gosh, love my state.
And then we also have to catch up on some folks that we missed yesterday. So Jose Rodriguez yesterday said, "Look for the book, Is Your Mama a Llama?" By the way, Daisy, you should get one.
Daisy, you should get a llama.
You should get a llama.
There's like 50 gajillion animals that I need to get on our little ranch here. I know.
We're working on writing them down. And
I know. We're working,
prioritizing.
We're just now working on a 4th steer. Okay. We're working on it because you guys, I know this is a personal privilege, but they're shunning Opie. Okay. Like they're not being nice to him because we have 3 steers. They're not being nice to him. And I know he's such a sensitive soul. And so he feels left out and I see him alone all the time. And I'm like, I can't have it. And so I went to
he needs a friend.
I know. So we have to get a 4th one that's sensitive, just like him, so they can be friends. Our rancher friend, she's like, you have problems. Okay. Because I'm like, we need a 4th one because he's being left out. And it's like Mean Girls and I need a 4th. So this is it. I know I have steer problems. I got 99 problems and they're all about the steers.
Oh my gosh. We also got Rumble Rants. That's what they're called over there in the ball pit. Rumble Rants. So Curlejo said Breitbart just posted Operation Replace is a go. This was yesterday morning. So again, there's been a lot of developments since yesterday, and we'll get to all of those. And then also Conservative Beats said, please check out Conservative Beats Rumble channel. We make original conservative music for patriots and release a new single every day. Today's single is called We the People. God bless America.
Oh, look at that. Interesting.
And then on Venmo, Karen Rodwald sent this message saying, I taught low-income kids who had more high-tech stuff than my family did. It's a choice of what to spend your money on. If people want to vote, they'll make getting an ID a priority and get one. Tattoos, piercings, smokes, all cost big bucks. Victim syndrome runs amok.
Very good point.
Indeed it does. Indeed it does. Okay. And so now let's get to some other headlines, because we talked about the SAVE Act passing the House yesterday and the unlikelihood that it would pass the Senate. And of course, the Senate blocked it completely, and they want illegals to vote. And that's why they did that. So
yep, they want to cheat.
They want to cheat.
These
That's
people
all there
are
is to
cheaters.
that.
Cheaters and liars.
Yeah. And I thought this was just funny. The New York Post said that Greta Thunberg has deleted a 2018 tweet claiming that climate change would wipe out humanity by 2023.
Oh, that's very convenient. Wow.
I love that story so much.
I know. She just wants to get rid of it. She's all these people, I think AOC kind of did the same thing, didn't she? She was like, we're going to be gone in 8 years.
That's right. That was years ago.
It was probably more than 8 years ago, wasn't it? Or maybe we're close to it. We're close to that deadline of when she said we're all going to die. We're still here, sweetheart. Yeah, this is the thing. Greta is one of those people. They all do this. All the climate change whack jobs, they always give these deadlines, and then we always like surpass the deadline. We're like, hello, still here. Hey. Hey.
Something else that happened yesterday is that the Milwaukee radio station that Joe Biden appeared on recently has admitted that they agreed to edit the interview to take out parts that the White House thought made him look bad. And they agreed to cutting 2 different clips from the interview. This is not journalism, and this is absolutely scandalous, but this is the kind of stuff that the White House is responsible for, all in the name of democracy, don't forget. Oh, and speaking of which, there's now, Politico was reporting that there's a few dozen DNC delegates that are trying to get a rules change so that the party nomination is secret and delegates can vote for whoever they want. I mean, this is the kind of shenanigans that Democrats are always pulling.
Yeah, and then they scream about democracy.
It's unbelievable.
This is the thing. They are the shifty criminals, man. They are just that they always point fingers at everybody else, accusing them of the things that they do. And so these people are they're awful, just completely void of morals, and they're criminals.
Yep.
God.
They absolutely are. And even though that's the case, and everybody has seen with their own eyes the level to which the Democrats will cover for an incompetent president, it doesn't matter. The polls, you guys, there's a recent WAPO Ipsos poll showing, even after all the hullabaloo, that Biden and Trump are in a dead heat at 46% each. Now, I know polls are all over the place.
Yeah,
this is
I hate
just one
polls.
of them.
I know.
But the fact that any poll would obtain this result is freaking mind-boggling.
It's alarming. It should alarm everybody that anybody would be looking at Biden saying, I want to vote for him.
Right.
The fact that any person, any human being with eyeballs and ears are looking at this and hearing what he's saying and going, oh yeah, that sounds like a good choice.
That's a good plan.
I know. Like it's a good plan to vote for a guy with actual dementia.
And then so keep that number in mind, right? So they're in this dead tie. But in that same exact poll, 70% of Americans said they want Biden to drop out. So, I mean, it's like, and the majority of Democrats, even 56% of Democrats want Biden to step aside. So, but even with that given, they're like, well, if he doesn't, though, I'm going to vote for him. I mean, what kind of crazy is that?
Yeah, well, Democrat crazy, liberal crazy. Because it's as evidenced by, like the Whoopi Goldbergs who are like, I don't care if he's pooping his pants.
Right, exactly.
I'm going to vote for him. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if this guy, because they don't care, because they know damn well he's not the one running the country. They don't care. They don't care that there's a guy behind the curtain or people behind the curtain that are actually running the country, which is completely and totally un-American. Yeah. They don't care.
They don't. I mean, it's absolutely disgusting. And I think, what Trump is being good right now, I think about being sort of quiet. You know what I mean? Like we have a tweet of reaction from him about last night's presser, but for the most part, he's not being super aggressive and attacky. He's just letting them fall on their own sword. You know what I mean?
Well, he's just letting the shit show shit is what he's letting.
Exactly. He really is. And so another thing, I think that that's a good strategy on his part. And then I think his spokespeople's strategy needs to be on the facts, which are these: that since Biden took office, every price is still up. So it doesn't matter what reports came out yesterday. They were trying to spin it like, oh, inflation and prices are down. No, they're just less up than they were before. That's really what's happening here. So this needs to be the constant focus of our party's talking points. And then also behind the scenes, this is according to Daily Mail this morning, Nancy Pelosi and Obama are like in cahoots. They're having all these closed door meetings. They're under the radar trying to get Biden out. So I don't know if these are true, but
the fact that Obama has a handle on anything should be alarming to people.
Yeah.
What the hell? Doesn't that make you guys go, wait, why? Why does he have a handle? He's not the president anymore. He shouldn't be. He's gone. He should be playing golf or doing whatever it is that ex-presidents do, like the Bushes and the Carters and the whoever. You know what I mean? Like they're gone. Go do whatever it is that you do now. Run along.
Right.
Run along.
Get out of our hair. You're done.
This is his third term. He wants a fourth. That should make everybody go. That should make the hair on your back stand up. Like everybody should be completely freaked out that he is having a say in this election at all.
But it's weird then, right? Because if he does want a fourth term, you would think he would want Joe Biden to stay in, because that's the only way he's going to get it. Other Democrats who might win are not going to tolerate him like hovering. You know what I mean?
I think he's afraid that perhaps that he's not going to win, so he's not going to get his fourth term. So maybe he's thinking, okay, well, if we can get Kamala in there, whoever, we can at least get a win, and then I can continue to control things. Because this guy obviously is a complete control freak.
Yeah, it's bad. It's really bad.
Yeah.
You guys, I got an email yesterday. This was kind of exciting because remember when you first signed up for our sponsor at aura.com/chicks. So you had 4 incidents of data brokers trying to sell your information and show Aura will tell you like where it's being sold, and they will actually move to take your name off of these lists. And I got an email yesterday saying, guess what? Your data is out there, and we're on it. We just wanted you to know we're on it. And this is here's the data brokers that are trying to sell your information. So, and it's because there's been all of these data leaks, right? We've talked about the AT&T one. There was the United Health Group. Their CEO had to tell lawmakers back in May that a cyber attack on their subsidiary Change Healthcare compromised data from 1/3 of Americans, and they ended up paying like a $22 million ransom. So there's no stopping this kind of stuff from happening. Your information gets out there. What you need is somebody like aura.com/chicks protecting that information and actually being proactive about getting your name and information off of these data broker lists. And so in addition to doing that for you, they also have antivirus programs. They have VPNs. They have password managers. They remove you from people search sites. They remove you from spam lists. They can stop AI spamming and calling and messaging. So they do all of these things that you might be paying a separate fee to a bunch of different people for. Aura.com/chicks has it all in one place. This is why we're so thrilled that they're our sponsor, and you can try it out and see for yourself. With a 14-day free trial, you can put in your information and see how much of it is out there on the dark web with bad actors trying to sell it. You can do that by just going to aura.com/chicks, and you can sign up for that 14-day free trial and see how much of yours is being sold. It is a rude awakening, just warning you right now. So aura.com/chicks. I think we have a Venmo from Marilyn Air, who says, regarding the polls, they aren't voting for Biden, they're voting against Trump. Right, which ends up being the same thing, unfortunately. Yeah. So it's true. You're right. But the end result is the same. GCQC, thank you. She says, testing. Good morning, friends. Yes, everything is working great. Laura Kate Baker, thank you. She says, amen, Daisy. Love you both. Let
the shit show shit.
Oh, okay. And then Misty Gilbert, thank you. Misty says, Moms for Liberty is part of an injunction halting Biden's Title IX. Join by 7:15 and School of Members' Children are included. momsforliberty.org. Love you, chicks. Okay, that's pretty cool. So
we do love
join
Moms for Liberty. We do.
Yeah.
Like them.
That's awesome. And then over on Locals, Judy Flood sent a tip saying, good morning. Thank you. And the Lefflers also said, a wife, being the romantic sort, sent her husband a text. If you're sleeping, send me your dreams. If you're laughing, send me your smile. If you're crying, send me your tears. I love you. The husband, typically non-romantic, replied, I am on the toilet. Please advise. So you're late for Dad Joke Wednesday. But
right. That was good. Yeah.
All right. So now we're going to get back into like yesterday and the sort of sequence of events. And we're going to start off with some voter reaction. This happened on The Daily Show, and it was not expected. They got a group of 6 Black voters together, asking them who they were going to vote for, and they were surprised.
Okay. So who will you be voting for in 2024? Daryl?
Do I have to say his name? I don't want to, but more than likely it's going to be Trump.
Yeah, unbelievable. Yeah, unbelievable.
Who are you going to be voting for?
Biden.
And then Victor?
I'm with her.
Oh, Biden, okay.
Trump.
Eric, Trump?
Biden.
Biden?
Trump.
Okay, we're an even split, which I didn't see that coming. So do you think there's going to be a big shift, any sort of change?
I think it's going to be a big shift.
Me too.
Big shift?
Yes. Big
Really? Okay.
For me, I've always been a Democrat, and it's like for the most part with the Democratic Party, they always make a bunch of promises that they can't deliver.
You know, they use the issues of the African American community as a soapbox to stand on and make promises, you know, just to get us to come out and vote. And then once we vote and everyone's in place, it's like, well, what happened?
That chick in the blue, man.
I know, right?
She's like, of course I'm going to vote Democrat. Why would I not vote? Like, she's just so like, why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I vote Democrat? I'm Black. I mean, it's so disconcerting when I see stuff like that. Like, she was just so digging her heels in because, I mean, that's what.
But I was enjoying the wake up of the other people. Like,
listen,
that was amazing.
It was, but everybody on that panel should be. Why wouldn't you? What is great about anything that he's done? He's done nothing for anybody on that panel. Jack squat. And so I'm actually disappointed that there are 3 people who are wanting to vote for this guy enthusiastically.
Yeah.
It's
and
gross.
That's just the state of the, like, you know, it's like the poll that we just talked about.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there are people that are just, you cannot reach them. It doesn't matter. It's like you just keep kicking them and putting like dirt in their face, and they're just going to bury their faces in it.
I swear, it's like this Stockholm. It's like Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah, it really is.
I just can't help you. God.
And they know. I mean, like, here's another example. CNN talked to some Wisconsin voter, and this was after Biden's debate performance, saying, you know, what are you going to do?
Someone who could serve for president for 4.5 more years?
I think that let me put it this way. I'm voting for the party right now.
Do you think Vice President Harris is qualified to be president?
No, I don't think so.
But you might vote for Joe Biden.
Anyway.
Before the debate.
I mean, what can you do with these people? Like,
I know.
They're just dug in, man.
No, I mean, she's not qualified, but I mean, but screw it. I mean, screw Americans. Screw America. I mean, I got to vote for the party, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, it's wild. And then, of course, we talked yesterday about the whole George Clooney letter, the op-ed fallout, and Mika and Joe talked about that yesterday as well. And Mika had similar thoughts. I don't know why she was so shy and like weird about just saying Obama's name, but this is how that went.
Actually, wanted to ever watch that with my kids again.
This wasn't George Clooney.
What do you mean?
It just wasn't. Come on.
Who do you think it was? Matt Damon?
It was not Matt Damon.
Who do you think
it wasn't
was?
Julia Roberts either.
Who do you think it was? You can say the name. You won't melt. It's not Voldemort.
I'll let you, honey.
Are you saying you think Barack Obama put him up to this?
I think that Barack Obama has a lot of influence, and I think that there's a lot there.
Don't say.
It's nice that he let her speak. That was really nice, Joe. Congratulations on letting
Yeah,
him.
but then he ended up mansplaining to his audience what she couldn't just articulate. And so that's this next little clip. He's like, let me just explain it to you guys for those of you who don't have it figured out.
Because my wife
is
is
have
stupid.
to underline here, just so viewers can follow what's going on behind the scenes, is the Biden campaign and many Democratic officials do believe that Barack Obama is quietly working behind the scenes to orchestrate this.
And Mika's like, I mean,
I was going to say that.
I thought it, but I couldn't say it. So I'm glad that you said it for me because you have a penis.
Right. And then Joe also decided to get all serious about how the Democrats really, really need to come together, you guys.
Democrats have to unite against the immediate threat before America's 240-year constitutional republic is no more.
He's very, very upset.
So dramatic.
Very upset and very dramatic.
Such a drama queen, that guy. Get your guitar out. Like, make a folk song about it, dude.
Man, we need to dig that old clip up and like
do.
reshare that on Monday. Because when
So
he
bad.
sang the folk song,
he's like, I'm Paul McCartney. Oh yeah, look at me, Mika. It's so hot.
Oh my god,
that's how he got her. That's how he like hooked her. And then now they're married, and she has all the regrets. You can tell. She's like, this is not at all what I thought it was going to be. It's a lot of mansplaining and not a lot of music.
Okay, so also Joy Reid, who is obviously psychotic in every way, when she does selfie videos, presumably for TikTok or Instagram or wherever she is on social media, I've always thought she's insane, but I've never been scared of her until I saw this video. And I'm legit, like, I think she could commit crimes. You know what I mean? Like, I think
maybe she has. Maybe we don't know.
I think you're going to see after you see this, because she's mad at people for criticizing Biden, but she's a lunatic, you guys, and her face is so close.
So here's my unsolicited advice for Democrats.
Oh my God.
Your opponent is the guy in the other party. The other candidate. Just saying. Take the advice if you won't. Just letting you know.
I'm scared of her.
You all in danger. All right.
I mean, tell me that wasn't terrifying.
It was pretty terrifying. I just would have been like, can you back up? Can you just back? I could smell her breath. I could smell it. Right. It was like, just back up. You're in my personal space. This is my personal space. That's your dancing space. And you're in it. Get out of it.
Right there.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, so many of our shorts end up with my face like right here. And I just want everybody to know that is not my fault.
That's the editing. It's not us. We're not like, hey, look at our face. It's like Waldo in the Van Halen video. Yeah, I can't. I don't like that. I know. But she is a close talker, John. I think she's a close talker. But she was trying to say, listen, the alternative is that guy. Yeah, that guy. Yeah, I'm good with it. You guys good with that guy? I'm good with it.
Guy.
Totally good with it. I am so ready for prices to come down. I'm ready to have more money in my pocket, and I'm ready for strength across the international stage. Ready for that. Because right now, what I saw yesterday was a guy with dementia on a stage. And I kept thinking to myself, this is the time when a country that doesn't like us would hit the United States of America. I kept thinking that yesterday. I'm like, if I were a country that didn't like us, I would be like, now's a good time. Yeah. So I like the other guy. I'm delighted to have he could start today. I'd be delighted with that. Yeah.
And speaking of which, just that's a good segue to remind everybody that other world leaders, I mean, all of NATO just experienced Joe Biden, and there were all kinds of concerns from them about his well-being. And it's not just NATO allies that are watching, it is our enemies. And the fact that this guy is our president right now is kind of terrifying. And so when everything feels terrifying, it's a good time to kind of just take stock into how you are preparing for your own financial future. And so, you might have like a 401k sitting somewhere, and maybe you even have a financial advisor who kind of guides you along this path. But if they are not telling you that you should be diversified, they are doing you dirty. Okay. They need to be telling you that there is more than just IRAs and 401ks, and gold and other precious metals are a really, really good way and a safe way to diversify for your retirement. You only get one. You only get the one retirement. So it's a great time to get gold from our friends and our sponsor, Birch Gold, because there is no one better at explaining why it matters and how easy it is to do it. So if it's something that interests you, you're in luck, because you're going to get a free information kit simply by texting the word chicks to 989898. They will send you a very comprehensive but easy to understand information kit about how you might explore adding gold or other precious metals to your portfolio. So do it. There's no obligation. After you get the information, you can do nothing if you want to, or you can do the things that they suggest that you do, but at least you'll be well armed with all the information. So text chicks to 989898. Let's see. Paula Gray. Thank you. Paula says, good morning, beautiful ladies. I just want to give a shout out to my grandson, Weston. Happy birthday, sweetheart. Nana loves you. I cannot believe you're 2 years old.
That's
ladies,
sweet.
have a beautiful weekend.
Grandson.
Weston,
happy birthday.
Susan Flythe, thank you very much for that super sticker. Jesse Wetzel, thank you. Jesse says, I'm at UT Knoxville for a city swim meet for my 13-year-old daughter. I'll keep you all in my pocket for later. Perfect. And good luck to your daughter. Teresa Raimundo, thank you. She says, I think the immediate threat is the media. Check your own backyard, Joe. Yeah, exactly. He's part of the problem. She also just said, Joy Reid channeling her best whispery president. Yeah, we got some whispers last night that were creepy.
And some screams.
And
he was
some
all
screams.
over the place.
Anastasia 63 says, I could smell the Hennessy on her breath.
Yeah.
The DNC chair, whose name I don't choose to remember ever because I don't care, but the DNC chair after the debate is still very, very mad that anybody is criticizing the debate performance given Joe Biden's results. And this is when you know that the crazy is fully entrenched. Listen to this moron.
Doing the job for 4 years. He's doing it right now on the NATO stage. He has brought America back to its prominence in the international arena. So I don't understand whether I need to see this. I need to see it. Hell, you've seen it for the last 3.5 years. What more do you need to see? We were talking a few months ago about how amazing Joe Biden's speech, one of the best speeches we've ever seen in the State of Union. And because of a 90-minute debate, we throw all of that away? Come on, folks.
Come on, man.
Look at Mika and her pinched face. She wasn't even buying that crap. That load of crap. Just because you yell it doesn't mean it's true, dude. Good Lord.
And then there are folks like the gals on The View who are pissed off at George Clooney for causing all of this hullabaloo, for actually saying out loud what everybody has known. Everybody that's on the right has been screaming about for 4 years, and they're just all like, oh, look what we've just discovered. But she's mad because she believes it's airing dirty laundry.
But I will say this. I don't like that George Clooney did this. I don't like that George Clooney aired this dirty laundry to the world. I think that these conversations are happening. I think they should be happening because our democracy is at stake. But they should be happening privately with the commander-in-chief, who we should have the utmost respect for.
This is a man.
Right. This This is a man who saved the soul of our country, and this is a man who has a record that he can stand on.
What a crock of crap. Okay, so airing dirty laundry, that's basically what she's saying is we don't want George Clooney to come out with the fact that this is like the biggest scandal in history, in modern history. That we've got some other guy, Obama and friends, a gaggle of other people are running the country while this guy is like the figurehead. And now everybody knows it. We knew it. We knew it years ago. And a lot of other Republicans, several of us, many of us knew it. And now the whole world knows it.
Yeah.
And
there's no hiding from it.
That's the dirty. Yeah. That's the dirty laundry. It's a scandal, Sonny, is what it is.
It's just a fact. It's the facts. And we are entitled to know the medical state of our president.
Yeah.
So the fact that she's saying it should be prite, I'm sorry, bitch, but they work for us.
Exactly. It's right. You're absolutely right. And what they've done is freaking treason. I mean, it's so treasonous. And that for them to ever say what she just said and then speak about democracy in the same sentence, it just shows you who Democrats are. They're just hypocritical scumbags.
And it gets even worse because now CNN did a huge expose yesterday afternoon. It might have been late morning, whatever. But CNN put out a piece talking about how there are a lot of Democrats and members of the media who are furious with Biden's inner circle, which they didn't specify, but I would imagine includes his closest advisors, his family, and so on, because they have been shielding him so completely that they are surprised by how bad he is right now. And so to some extent, it's irresponsible journalism that they didn't push to get more access to him. And they tried here and there, like in these sort of lame ass ways, but they are angry because not only did they shield him because, the whole last campaign was Basement Joe.
Right.
But they also orchestrated basic functions of the presidency. And this is where it gets really scandalous and really treasonous.
What they had said, and that was so noteworthy, is that they said they couldn't have possibly known about the full extent of the president's decline. And what many of them blame at this point is this apparatus and daily operation that is built around the president that is so painfully choreographed and stage managed, they said, that is designed to prevent the president from being often out in these unscripted settings for an extended period of time. And that really what that meant was that only a small circle of inner circle of advisors and perhaps family members could have known about sort of this full picture of the president's condition. Just one example that is in our story is that according to two sources, before cabinet meetings that the president attends, cabinet officials will submit their questions and key talking points and bullet points that they plan to present to the president in these closed-door meetings. This is how one source described it. They said the entire display is kind of an act. They would come and say, hey, the president is going to call on you about 25 minutes in and ask this question. What are the bullet points that you'll respond with? Now, the White House's defense has been that is standard practice for any administration. They said in a setting like this, you never want the president to be not aware of what is going to be discussed. They want to also just be mindful of the president's time.
Let's bring in.
Okay, I just call bullshit on this. How many veteran journalists are asking questions or at least in the press room, and they're witnessing what's happening. So I know that they cannot, claim ignorance on this because let me see, who's an example? Like Nora O'Donnell. She's been doing this for decades. So there, somebody like that, she's got to look at this and be like, this is not standard protocol. This is not normal. So why didn't she, I'm just using her as an example of probably a gajillion other examples. Why didn't she stand up and go, this ain't right?
This isn't standard practice.
This isn't standard practice. So why is this happening? So I call bullshit on all these people who are now like, we were kind of duped, you guys. Like, this is just so surprising. No, you're not a good journalist and you're a Democrat and you're totally in cahoots with this administration. And you're an accomplice to a scandal. You're an accomplice to treason is what you are. So don't act like you're surprised now. You're a jerk.
And that could not be a better way to introduce this clip of Jake Tapper. Because he is the worst of the worst right now. Like him being all snarky about all of this stuff when he was complicit is absolutely amazing. He's saying he got a text and he's sharing it with the world now. He got this text from a senior cabinet member, I think. And he'll say who. He won't name names, but he'll say the position of the person. And he's acting like he's known this all along. He's been on our side about this.
Panel. And on that note, I want to share something with you all that a longtime Biden advisor just texted me. Okay. He or she said, quote, "I just think there's an unfortunate inevitability to all this. I am sad because I've known him a long time and he's a good man. I'm angry at his inner circle who have not served him well and at times committed malpractice in their service. And I am frustrated at the family, the Biden family, for not expanding the circle so there would be at least a truth teller or two in their midst. They created a perfect storm of an echo chamber, and it is biting them all in the ass." Again, as with MJ, apologies for the salty language, but this is the extent of the frustration. Gloria, your reaction?
He's trying to cover his ass. And
what do they call it? It was a malfunction or like malpractice. They said it's not malpractice. It is treason.
Right.
It's literal treason.
That's exactly what it is. He's trying to cover his ass. He's pulling like on a way grander scale, kind of like what Cuomo did with all the, ivermectin's fine. It's fine now. It's fine. Did I say something about it before? I didn't say anything about it before, did I? You guys don't remember that, do you? They are there. You guys are stupid. Everybody's stupid in America. You're not going to remember what I said before, right? There's no video of it. Jake, there's video of you like berating Laura Trump. I mean, so shut your face. Like you were in cahoots.
Yep.
Oh my God. These people, all of them, insufferable. You don't get to cover your ass now, dude. You don't get to do that.
And Jen Psaki is trying desperately. There's so many people who are trying to make Kamala happen. And so she was, I don't even know whose show she's on in this clip, but she's obviously talking to some podcaster about how Kamala's just, she's really come into her own and people just aren't giving her the credit she deserves. And everybody is sexist and racist.
Kamala Harris, the vice president, I'm gonna call her vice president now because I keep calling her. She is like, in my view, an undervalued talent. She's a very fierce communicator. She's very strong, especially on one of the core issues that made the election maybe won or lost on, which is abortion rights. And this is why I think when she did a couple of interviews after the debate, I was sitting on the set with a bunch of other NBC anchors, and everybody was like, that was great. It's like, that's what she's doing out in the country, and nobody is really tracking it. It's just, that's who she is. But there is a caricature out there. It's almost like public opinion hasn't caught up with what she is doing out there. And also we live in a country that is sexist and racist. So there is that. Not everybody at all, but there is a level of it that does impact elections.
Yeah, right. Because a lot of us, Peppermint Patty, we're looking at the border.
Right.
How'd she do on the border? She was tasked with that. How'd she do on that?
She was in charge of that.
How'd she do? How'd she do, everybody? How'd Kamala do on that?
Jen Psaki just called her a great communicator, which is the most hilarious thing, given that just yesterday, and by the way, I sounded like Joe Biden when I did that. That was a total Joe Biden moment for me, by the way. Anyway,
by the way.
No, but for real, remember how we've shown like compilations of Kamala saying she's unburdened by what has been or whatever, all that unburdened.
Like a gajillion times.
Yeah. And so now I think that the most complete compilation of that I've seen is over 4 minutes straight of different incidents of her using that term. Every single one in that whole compilation is a different instance. And so, now that her name is being thrown around as a possible Democrat nominee for president, you would think she would be mindful of the unburdening thing being not a thing that she should be doing anymore.
A little much. Like maybe like stop that. Her PR team should be like, maybe just zip it, Pippi.
But you guys, this is yesterday.
We could do anything. and should never be burdened
Oh, God.
by the limitations of other people to be able or not be able to see what can be.
No.
And this is that community who understands and can see what is possible unburdened by what has been.
Oh, my God.
It was like 3 burdens in one 22-second clip.
She was like, I'm tripling down on the burdening. I'm tripling down. She just doesn't.
Why is no one helping her with this? Oh my God.
Oh my God. She's been through, I think, like 7 speechwriters at this point. And now the eighth speechwriter is like, I don't care. Balls to the wall. We're just going with unburdening. We don't care. We just don't care anymore.
It's amazing, right? Like, that's amazing.
It is remarkable. And people are like, they're seriously, the lemmings in the audience are like, yeah, it's great. I'm unburdened. Let's put it on the t-shirt.
She always does this and then this. You know what I mean? Like, there's a hand, like she does the same exact hand motions every time.
It's this. It's this, you guys. Yeah.
We need to create the Kamala dance, like the Kamala unburdened dance. And this needs to be like the key signature move.
Yeah. And her backup singer is her backup dancer. I'm sorry. Is Joe Biden just standing there at the Juneteenth celebration going, that's her backup dancer. Totally.
Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm. Speaking of Joe Biden, there is, I just wanted this is a flashback. Okay. This is a flashback before we get to all the stuff from yesterday. Flashback to before the disastrous debate. I saw this floating around and I was like, wow, I had forgotten about this clip. And now that we know everything that we know, it's so interesting to watch his video trying to get Trump to debate him. This is extraordinary.
Lost 2 debates to me in 2020. Since then, he hadn't shown up for debate. Now he's acting like he wants to debate me again. Well, make my day, pal. I'll even do it twice. So let's pick the dates, Donald. I hear you're free on Wednesdays.
Do you remember how confident he was?
Yeah, it was.
I mean, it was like 11 jump cuts, but still.
Yeah. What was the Wednesday thing? I don't understand.
Because court. Remember how he always had Wednesdays off in court?
Oh yeah, because you're a criminal, you're a felon.
I get it. Why is he in court? Because you're undemocratic nonsense.
Right? Because it's a political motivation thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Audrey Krauss on Locals said dirty laundry is now considered calling out senility. So sick of these people on The View. Love you, chicks.
Thank you.
All right, so let's get to the good stuff because the presser was one thing, but there was also a NATO speech. There was like a NATO dinner. There was a lot of stuff that Biden had to participate in yesterday, well ahead of the big boy presser. So, for example, during a NATO speech, I think this was during the dinner, he said, whatever this is.
The allies in this room not only share a common language, don't share a common language, we do not share a common border, but we are neighbors. We're neighbors.
What? It was a disaster. And he was reading, you know?
That's reading.
He was reading that whole first part, and that was a disaster. It was a preamble to the other disaster that happened. It was just disaster after disaster after disaster. I mean, everybody, I'm sure you guys, a lot of you watched it. And it was...
Well, we have the highlights. For those of you who couldn't bear it, we have the highlights. And in fact, Daisy and I were talking before we went live that there were parts where he rambled so much that we just tuned out. I realized this morning I missed some things because he was so filibustery about things that he actually spent a bunch of time criticizing Israel. Not once did he mention the hostages. Not a single solitary time did he mention the hostages. And I can assure you, I didn't miss that. He just flat didn't. So there are some things there are clips in here that I totally didn't hear last night because I was just like, oh my God, get on with it.
Yeah. I mean, I know he just rambled like an old man that he is, you know? I was like, I'm just going to go clean the kitchen. I can't. It was bad, you guys.
And he had the job of introducing President Zelensky last night, and that did not go well.
And now I want to hand it over to the president of Ukraine, who has as much courage as he has determination. Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin.
Oh my God.
President Putin. He's going to beat President Putin. President Zelensky. I'm so focused on beating Putin, we got to worry about it. Anyway, Mr. President.
Oh my God.
So here's the moment somebody zoomed in on Zelensky to look at his face right when he was called President Putin. And then somebody added a little President Putin to the end of it. So this is why I love the internet.
I want to hand it over to the President of Ukraine, who has as much courage as he has determination. Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin.
Sad trombone. That was my favorite.
That was great. And Putin is watching that going,
yeah,
that's great.
Yeah.
That's good stuff right there. Uh-huh. Yeah.
And now that the media has all of a sudden decided that they have an actual job to do, they were covering it. They were covering it like crazy. And in fact, they showed that moment from even more angles.
There's a different angle. And you are seeing President Zelensky's reaction to the moment that President Biden mistakenly called him President Putin. And so you're seeing Zelensky's reaction there right before he went to the podium.
Oh, my God. So effing cringe.
What do you make of the whole thing being called the big boy presser by the people that are closest to him? Like what? Because I have a little montage. We'll play it. And then I want you to answer that question. Like, because I don't know what to make of this. But here's just a little recap of how this all got started.
Boy press conference. Big boy press conference. A big boy press conference. Hold a press conference. A big boy press conference. A press conference. I guess a big boy press conference is what we're calling it. The press conference, the big boy press conference. Y'all are planning to have. Gives his press conference, his big boy press conference.
What are they doing?
Well, I don't think I think Kirby, after the fact, I mean, he probably knows how absolutely ridiculous it sounds, right? But I think a lot of people in the camp, I don't know if it's because they're young or inexperienced or just completely inept at their jobs. I don't know if they realize or if they, I think deep down they know that this guy is inept and that he is senile. And that he's incapable of doing this job. And so they live with it every single day. So they said what they said because he is doing like a big boy presser. Like he's doing something that he's not used to doing, right? He's weak. He's weak AF.
But they're also trying so hard to defend him. And then using that term is so belittling.
It's so belittling. Yeah, it is.
Why? It's such terrible strategy.
It is
awful. Don't get it.
Well, so much of what they do is terrible strategy. And I think they don't realize, sometimes a lot of the things that they do and that they push out there is just, it comes across as weak and pathetic, and they don't get it. They just don't understand that. But then they also don't believe in, peace through strength. They don't believe in things like that either. I mean, they just have such a different way of looking at the world. And we have got to get rid of these people. I can't believe this is my America right now. I can't believe that they're talking about the president doing a big boy presser. And I can't believe that when people give him props for just saying a complete sentence, and that is, I'm supposed to be delighted about that this is my America. Like, get these people out of these jobs, y'all. We've got to do that. This is such a disgrace to our country.
And I think, just from an overall standpoint, yesterday, at least this is how I felt. I don't know if you feel the same, that after it was over, I felt like overall, he did just enough to quell or at least pretend quell some of the fears of some people enough to stay in for now, which I'm super glad about. Like, I'm delighted that he's staying in.
That's fine.
But there were so many flubs and so many mistakes, but not enough, not as bad of a performance as the debate was to say, of course he should get out. And so it was actually the perfect outcome if you're Trump or a Trump supporter, that he did just enough to squeak by. And of course, there's a bunch of people that'll defend him to the end, but that was my overall impression of the whole thing.
It just shows you who those people are. You surround yourself with losers, you're going to be a loser, and you're going to have a loser represent you. It's like, I don't know how many times I've said this on the show, but that's That's what you get. I mean, that's how we raise our kids. If you are we tell our kids, you surround yourself with losers, you're going to like get down in the gutter. And that's the Democrat Party, you guys. They're a bunch of freaking losers. They have a loser on the podium that's representing them, and they're a bunch of losers running the show. This is what we have right now. Look at this. I mean, their idea of exceptionalism is a guy who can read a complete sentence from a teleprompter.
I mean, the bar has been seriously lowered.
Yeah, the bar is so low for these people. They're like, he did such a great job. I mean, there are people out there yesterday who was like, but he did a really good job.
Oh,
really? Really? You think? I mean, he was probably amped up on whatever amphetamines. I know I was talking to you yesterday and I was like, whatever it is that they pump him full of, it affects his throat. It affects the way he talks. I don't know what it is. There's a doctor out there. Let us know what that is. But whatever they give him, it affects his something, because he's like, yesterday, he's like clearing his throat. So I don't know what that is, but it does it to him. And so they have to pump him full of whatever they pump him full of. And then he like barely makes it through a presser. He sounds like a complete imbecile because he just rambles and rambles because he has dementia. This is their idea of exceptionalism. It's insane. Like we should not be in the position that we're in, and it's because of Democrats.
So there was the moment that just this kicked off the entire presser was when he called Kamala Vice President Trump.
My God.
Mr. President, your political future has hung over the NATO summit a little bit this week. Speaker Pelosi made a point of suggesting that your decision on whether to stay in the race was still open. George Clooney and a handful of lawmakers have called on you to step aside. Reuters is reporting tonight that UAW leadership is concerned about your ability to win.
UAW just endorsed me, but go ahead.
Thank you. My question for you is, how are you incorporating these developments into your decision to stay? And separately, what concerns do you have about Vice President Harris's ability to beat Donald Trump if she were at the top of the ticket?
Look, I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be vice president, but I think she was not qualified to be president.
Oh my God. It's remarkable, isn't it? Plus the questions were bullcrap.
Yeah, so many of them were utter bullcrap.
They were bullcrap. They were softball. I mean, if they had real journalists asking real questions, they would have put this man to the test. They would have done it to Trump. I mean, this is the thing. They asked him just soft, mushy questions and let him just ramble. And they didn't do follow-ups, and they didn't hit this guy. They should have hit him. It was a presser. It was a big boy presser. If it was actually a big boy presser, they would have hit him with some tough questions, and they would have made him. They would have asked questions that put him on the spot and made him remember things, and made him like think of details. And I mean, they didn't do any of that. It was very lukewarm, the whole thing.
There were a couple that I was like, okay, now we're getting somewhere, but we didn't really get anywhere, except that we just saw a president in decline, serious decline.
Totally lame.
They did ask him to address the fact that he had called President Zelensky President Putin, and I think that is this next clip.
The coughing.
Thanks. Thank you, Mr. President. I wanted to ask you about you mixed up Presidents Zelensky and Putin earlier today. And you now have sort of your key allies, including the British Prime Minister, the President of France, and the German Chancellor having to step in and make excuses for you on that. And officials here are saying off the record that your decline has become noticeable. Hasn't this now, frankly, become damaging for America's standing in the world? Thank you.
Did you see any damage to our standing by leading this conference? Have you seen a more successful conference? What do you think? And the Putin piece, I was talking about Putin, and I said, and now, at the very end, I said, Putin. I said, oh, no, I'm sorry, Zelensky. And then I added 5 other names. Look, guys, the idea, anybody suggests
the idea
that
the idea
we haven't had an incredibly successful conference.
Mm-hmm.
How many times did you hear in that conference, I don't know if it sounds too self-serving, but other leaders, heads of state, in thanking me, saying the reason we're together is because of Biden, because Biden did the following. Look, folks, this is well, anyway, I thought it was the most successful conference I've attended in a long time, and find me a world leader who didn't think it was.
We could probably find some. We could. I'm sure
If
we
they
could.
were
find,
honest, yeah.
Yeah, we could find a few. Yeah, it's. I
Yep.
mean, just we want to take the keys away from Grandpa, and he's unwilling to give the keys up. You know.
Somebody did ask, listen, you say that you need to get to bed by 8 o'clock. Like, how are you like assuaging the fears of people who are worried that you have limitations? You've outlined your own limitations. What do you have to say to make people feel better about that? And this is when it got really
weird.
Right?
Yeah, it did get really weird. I mean, the 8 o'clock thing is weird, you guys. You don't say that.
He denies that. But he also said that, like, he loves his staff, but like his wife's getting on him about these late meetings.
Right.
It was all just like kind of personal and weird, and you'll see what we mean.
The most straining job in the world, and it's 24/7. How can you say you'll be up for that next year, in 2 years, in 4 years, given the limits you've acknowledged that you have today?
The limits I've acknowledged I have?
There's been reporting that you've acknowledged that you need to go to bed earlier and your evening around 8.
That's not true. Look, what I said was, instead of my every day starting at 7 and going to bed at midnight, it'd be smarter for me to pace myself a little more. And I said, for example, the 8, 7, 6 stuff, instead of starting a fundraiser at 9 o'clock, start at 8 o'clock. People get to go home by 10 o'clock. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about, and if you look at my schedule since I made that stupid mistake in the campaign, in the debate, I mean, my schedule has been full bore. I've done, where's Trump been? Riding around in his golf cart, filling out his scorecard before he hits the ball? I mean, look, he's done virtually nothing. And I have, I don't know how many, don't hold me to it, roughly 20 major events. Some of them with thousands of people showing up. And so I just think it's better. I always have an inclination, whether I was playing sports or doing politics, just to keep going, not stop. I just got to just pace myself a little more. Pace myself. And the next debate, I'm not going to be traveling into 15 time zones a week before. Anyway, that's what it was about. That's what it was about. And by the way, even with that, I love my staff, but they add things all the time.
Oh my God.
I'm catching hell from my wife for that. Anyway.
What was that? What in the hell was that, you guys?
But they think this was great. A lot of people were like, this is awesome.
I'm sure he catches hell from his wife every day. Joe, move this way, do this, do that. She's a control freak. You know she is. You know she is a complete walking nightmare, that woman.
Oh my God.
I'm sure that he catches hell like on a minute by minute basis. But like he's like, I love my staff, but they add things. Of course they add things. You're the president.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, he just needs to pace himself. He just needs to get a little pacing.
Listen, I think we have a super sticker where somebody said something about,
Andrea Cleaver, thank you. She says, I agree, Mock. He did just enough to calm just enough Democrat fears that, fingers crossed, he just might stay the nominee.
Mm-hmm.
Wendy H, thank you. She says, a big reporter, I forget the name, termed big boy presser. And I think KJP and Kirby just jokingly went with it to soften the blow. I listened from Apex, North Carolina.
Interesting.
Can you imagine not immediately pushing back though?
Yeah.
Like, using it is crazy town.
It is. And this administration knows nothing about PR. Like they don't. And I just think it's because they're so inept, you guys. They don't get it.
Yeah. C Noons, thank you. She says it's the Coke drip. After he snorts his son's blow, it's inevitable. So I've heard. The photo and the story says the gerontocracy is awful. Gen X needs its chance. And Shelley Ethington says it doesn't matter where or what Trump is doing. He's not running the world. Yeah, that's a great point. And Kohler Lupton over on Locals said, I believe big boy presser means his babysitter Jill was not at his side. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We mentioned that like both of us kind of tuned out at different points because he starts rambling and just filibustering and getting all weird. This is one of the moments that I missed because I was tuned out. I don't know what's happening here, you guys. It's like he's seeing somebody across the room or he's getting a signal from someone and he gets totally distracted for a second and it's weird.
South Korea, we're going to get the chip. What are you doing? I'm going to get Japan and Korea.
Did you see that? Yes, I did. What was that? He was like, what are you doing? What was that? It's like he saw a ghost.
No.
What was that?
He's like, I'm coming home, mama.
I mean, that was wild.
I don't. Go to the light, Joe. Just go. Just go to the light.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I can't anymore.
It's too much. Like we cannot be expected to take this much drama. It's too much.
It's way too much. And listen, nobody's running our okay. I'd like, if anything, we're supposed to have a representative constitutional republic, right? I mean, like this guy is supposed to be running the country. He's not. So who is it? I think if at the very least, these asshats on the left should at least tell us who is it? Who's running the country? Like at least show us behind the curtain who the people are, who the gaggle of people are that are running the country. I'd like to know.
What
I feel like
it's people like KJP.
that
would explain so much.
It has to. Okay. I think we all have a right to know, since like the scandal is all out in the open now, then at least tell us. Tell us who the group of people are that are actually making the decisions, if not him.
Mm-hmm. Judy Grabinski on Venmo just said, Daisy, watch YouTube Scottish Grandma reading Wonky Donkey. It's awesome. You will want that book for Henry.
I have Wonky Donkey. I got Wonky Donkey.
Well, she wants you to watch this Scottish YouTube grandma.
I will. Okay, I will. I'll totally do that. That sounds awesome.
And then Heidi Pryor, thank you. She says, good morning, chicks. Longtime fan, first time super chatter, millennial who grew up with a rep dad and a Dem mom. Proud to say both my mom and Marine husband have switched sides. Look at that. Good on them. And welcome to super chatting. Okay, so then we talked about how he was whispery and he was also screamy. Then I believe that this is the randomly screamy moment, and he says a million different things within this 30 seconds that he's like on a billion tangents. It's crazy.
Guns, not girls. I mean, the idea we're sitting around, this where Kamala is so good as well. We're sitting around. More children are killed by a bullet than any other cause of death. The United States of America. What the hell are we doing? What are we doing? We got a candidate saying, promise the NRA, don't worry, I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to do anything. You got a Supreme Court that is what you might call the most conservative court in American history. This is ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. The yelling, calm down, Grandpa.
Oh my God.
Somebody get him his ice cream. Just give it to him. Make him sit down in his Barcalounger and get him some Lawrence Welk. He'll be all right.
And then there was the moment where he forgot that he is actually the commander-in-chief.
I'm following the advice of my commander-in-chief, the chief of staff of the military, as well as the Secretary of Defense and our intelligence people.
Yeah, it's because he's not the commander-in-chief. He's not it. When I saw that yesterday, I'm like, well, that just tells you he doesn't make any damn decisions. He's not the commander-in-chief. There's somebody else doing it. So he goes, and he probably doesn't even go to meetings. This guy just sleeps and lounges all day, and we pay him a salary, his family, because Jill is the one who gets the checks. We give Jill a check, and then this guy just eats his ice cream, and he does a photo op every once in a while. So the commander-in-chief is somebody else. I'm assuming it's Obama. So I have to get advisement from my commander in chief.
I
It's
mean,
not him.
I mean, something else.
I mean, again, and then Democrats will lecture us on democracy. These people are effed.
Well, and now there is some legitimate question about what his own people around him, his family, his closest advisors, are they being honest with him? And I don't think that they are.
No.
This is a clip that makes that perfectly evident. He's being asked about Kamala again and polling. And you guys, he's delusional.
Earlier explained confidence in your vice president.
Yes.
If your team came back and showed you data that she would fare better against former President Donald Trump, would you reconsider your decision to stay in the race?
No, unless they came back and said, there's no way you can win. Me. No one's saying that. No poll says that. Okay. Thank you.
This ends tonight's press conference. Thanks, everybody.
The whisper.
Why does he do that?
Saying that. They are lying to you. I'm gonna sniff you. Come here, little girl. Oh my God.
Oh my
I
God.
just like it's just so free. Never in my life. I just never thought I'd see this. You and I have been doing this 15 years. I never thought I would see what I'm seeing today. What is
We
even
live
happening?
in interesting times.
What? This is why people drink. This is why.
Well, and even though that looked like the end, it actually wasn't the end. He did get another question, and that was about his earlier mistake calling Kamala Vice President Trump.
Mhm.
So Trump jumped all over that on Truth Social. And so this reporter obviously caught on to that and said, listen, Trump is now mocking you for saying that. What do you have to say? And I don't even know why this was his answer.
Respectfully, earlier you misspoke in your opening answer. You referred to Vice President Harris as Vice President Trump. Right now, Donald Trump is using that to mock your age and your memory. How do you combat that criticism from tonight?
Oh my God.
Listen to him.
This concludes tonight's press conference. Thank you, everybody.
What?
That wasn't a good comeback. That doesn't work.
That doesn't. We are like that. That's what we just did. That's why you do that. What are you? Oh my God.
And then he walks off.
Oh my God.
He's like, I'm going to drop the mic. Okay, no, doesn't help. It just doesn't. None of this.
Whew.
God,
and
you
then,
guys.
of course, you guys, I mean, I even texted Amy Jo and I was like, here come the ideas again. Because he's always like, the idea.
The idea. Look,
the idea. But also, it's the anyways. And so somebody did put together a compilation of the anyways.
This is, well, anyway. In the next debate, I'm not going to be traveling into 15 time zones a week before. Anyway, I'm catching hell from my wife for that. Anyway, it wasn't about just, anyway, read what his objective is. And anyway, but then again, they're better than a lot of other people here too. But anyway.
See, here's the thing. The anyway is when he can't remember.
When he loses his train of thought.
Yeah, which is a lot. So when he can't remember where he was in his thought process, he just says, anyway, that's his crutch. But the look is the hesitation for when he's starting something. The anyway is the exclamation point.
They're like bookends.
They're bookends. Yes. Yeah.
There was also, I mean, just to give you a really clear picture of how he doesn't even agree with himself. This, you're going to see a side by side. These two clips were 50 seconds apart.
Is Putin ready to talk? I'm not ready to talk to Putin. I'm prepared to talk to any leader who wants to talk, including if Putin called me and wanted to talk.
Oh my God.
50-second time span between those two ideas.
Yeah. Y'all feel safe? You guys feel safe?
Everybody good?
Yeah, you feel safe. Your family, feel good about your family feeling safe. Yeah. Democrats feel fine with this. They're fine with it. Yeah.
There have been a couple of hilarious altered videos that are very, very timely. One is of Obama speaking to Biden, which is an actual conversation that they had, but this has been manipulated to make it look as though Obama is saying that Joe needs to step aside. And so I just liked it. I think you guys will too.
You know what it's like as much as anybody to be in the White House during a crisis. You know what it's like and how lonely it can be to make tough decisions where not every decision is going to be perfect, but you got to make them. We're in a moment right now.
Best friend.
Which, if you're going to quit,
No. You know what? These two men hate each other.
I think they I think Joe really likes Obama and just believes that they have a friendship that they don't actually have.
I don't think he does. And
You don't think he likes him?
I don't think he does now. No. And I think that family hates the Obamas. I think at this point, and I think especially now, this is where I think they're at. I think they have true hatred for one another at this point. And I think Obama's like, you need to GTFO. And I think the Bidens are like, you need to GTFO. Because you basically put me in this position and now I'm staying. And I think Jill is a big part of that. This is just my personal opinion. Y'all could vary. But I think that now that they've been put in this position where where Joe is like the figurehead and Obama used him as a puppet, Jill's like, I'm not effing leaving. You used us as this puppet. And now I'm going to just milk it. We're going to do 8 years, baby. We're doing 8 years. And I really feel like she's digging her heels in and she's like, F you, Obama. We're staying. We're absolutely staying. We're getting our 8 years and you're going to suck it. You're going to like it. Like, this is the way that it's going to be. And she is digging her heels in because she's awful. She's awful, right? They're all awful. And so I think they just have true hatred for one another. And I think Obama put Clooney up to the op-ed. I think that it's all just orchestrated. They're all awful. I think it's all orchestrated. It's all manipulation. I think they're all in together, but I think that there is a true hatred between these families.
Speaking of manipulated videos, here's another one. This is my favorite. So I don't know if you guys ever saw the George Clooney movie. I think it was called Up in the Air or In the Air. He plays a guy that flies all over the world firing people. So he's a guy that's like a consultant that's brought into companies to fire or to lay off people. He's that guy. And so somebody put this together and it is glorious.
So although I wish I were here with better news, the fact is that you and I are sitting here today because this will be your last week of employment. This is not an assessment of your productivity. You gotta try not to take this personally.
Well, I just had a bad night.
It's so
a bad night, you guys.
It's just so great.
It's actually a really good movie, I will say.
Yeah, it has like Vera, what's her name in it?
Yeah, I think that is right. Vera somebody.
It's very Italian. The last name I can't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great show. I love the movie. All right, well, let's get into some reaction, shall we?
Okay, let's do it.
So first of all, there was a big question ahead of the presser starting why there were teleprompters. Like, there were teleprompters visible. In fact, here's a photo of them. They were right there. And so that's not typically something that you see at a presser that is supposed to be unscripted, but it turned out he just made some remarks at the beginning.
God, I hate this kid's face. I'm sorry.
Right? Like the chin. It's
oh God, he's so, I mean, not that we condone violence on the show, but he is so punchable.
Oh my God.
His face, just look at it. Oh my God. Anyway.
But here's what he said in video about the presser.
President Biden just gave an hour-long press conference with no notes, no teleprompter, no knowledge of the questions beforehand, and he executed it perfectly.
Okay.
Dude, there were teleprompters everywhere. He couldn't even read from them. He had a hard time reading. Poor Harry. I mean, he is, I don't even know what he's doing behind the scenes to get the favors that he is. You know what I mean? This kid's getting paid, we know, by the DNC. He's getting paid by the Democrat Party. But the things that he has to do on the side, I can only imagine.
I mean, and the links that he goes to promote Biden, it's hilarious. Like he's saying, I'd love to see Trump try to keep up. Dude, we just saw what that looks like 2 weeks ago.
I know. I mean,
oh my God.
This kid is such a sellout at such an early age. I mean, does he even have a father?
I think he has really rich parents, actually.
Oh, God. It's just like his parents have just done him such a disservice.
Yeah, it's bad. It's really
it
bad.
is.
We mentioned the Trump. Actually, the reporter called on Joe to address the fact that Trump was mocking him for calling him the vice president. And this is what Trump tweeted. He said, Crooked Joe begins his big boy press conference with, I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be vice president, though I think she was not qualified to be president. Great job, Joe.
You knew he was going to pounce on that.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
You absolutely knew. And then Steve Hayes, who I completely forgot existed, he tweeted the reality of what happened. And he said the president opened his presser by mistaking VP Harris for Trump. He said he was going to follow the advice of the commander-in-chief. He spoke about pacing himself, better managing his schedule. He spoke gibberish about Ukraine's ability to strike Russia. He said, quote, we're going to make sure that rents are kept at 5% increase. Corporate rents for apartments and the like, homes are limited to 5%. What? Extended non sequiturs and half thoughts on Japan, South Korea, and all this just 2 hours after he introduced Zelensky as Putin. If we think that that's a good night, because he's also had moments of coherence, even extended ones with substantive answers, we're not just grading on a curve. We are nuts.
Yep. That is 100% true. Mm-hmm.
But they're going to spin.
Yep. And they do grade on a curve, don't they? They grade on a big ass curve.
They definitely do. And in fact, when it comes to mixing up names, something like Zelensky and Putin or Trump and Kamala, I mean, everybody does that, right? That's at least according to the DNC chair.
All those people in that area are the same, right? They're all the same. Zelensky and Putin. We get them confused. I mean, we're just giving them like hundreds of millions of dollars for a war. What does it matter? They're the same.
Yeah, but this is what the DNC chair said.
I don't know whether or not Joe Biden stumbles over things or has a stutter. I mean, hell, sometimes I can't even remember my kids' names because I'm so tired, right?
Oh my God.
So we got to stop. We got to stop the nitpicking, and then focus on the work ahead. This
I don't disagree with you, but
I just in the past.
I get you on that.
It's nitpicking. It's nitpicking, you guys. It's nitpicking.
And nits.
I just realized that Harry Sisson is going to be that Chris Hayes guy. That's who he's going to grow up to be.
Listen, you're manifesting that. He is going to be a reporter on TV because you just manifested that.
Well, he looks like Chris Hayes, don't you think?
So many people look like Chris Hayes. Rachel Maddow, the chick at on the Bigfoot show. Like,
but Chris Hayes as a high schooler was Harry Sisson.
Yeah, I think that's probably right. Michael Moore is frustrated by the fact that we're not being told the truth, and he's had enough, and that's the reason for my name today. Here is Michael Moore.
Maybe Americans, but we're not stupid. Please don't tell us things like he had a cold or was jet lag or any of this stuff. Don't fib to us like that. The fibbing is from the other side. That's the Trump way of doing it. Don't do that to us. We know what we saw. Something's wrong. Tell us what's wrong, if anything's wrong. There's nothing wrong with asking that question and asking, but it looks like they don't want us to know something. That's what it looks like. It has the appearance of, we don't want you to see him.
Caitlin,
he's had dementia since 2020. You're part of the problem.
2019.
You're one of the fibbers. So get off your high horse. Shut up. We're not the fibbers. We don't do that.
But David Axelrod, too, he's worried about the inner circle not telling Joe the truth.
The end that, he might change his mind if his team came to him and told him that he couldn't win, but they haven't done that, or that someone else had a better chance of winning. If that's the case, then they're not really leveling with him about where this race is. And they really should. It's not fair to him if they're not telling him the truth. He is in a very, very tough spot. I don't know anyone in politics who would tell you, who looks at the numbers that we see, would tell you that he has a very good chance to win this race.
They don't care about the lies, you guys. They don't care about the fact that they're indecent, awful, like void of morals people that have lied to the American people and that this is a huge scandal and this is basically treasonous. They don't care about any of that stuff. They're freaking out and they're panicking because they may lose. That's all this is about. And that just shows you how void of morals that they really are.
Mm-hmm. Lisa Bright says no more children are killed from abortion. What? I don't know what that was in context of.
I don't know.
But thank you for the super sticker. Appreciate it. Bradley McKay, thank you. He says, I'm in the effing twilight zone, right? It does feel like that sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And then Brian Brumley says, say it, Daisy. It is all theater.
It is.
All of it is theater. Rachel Maddow also upset about if Joe Biden knows what's going on.
I think that what Nicole points out about the reality about polling numbers for incumbent presidents and the real history of that versus what President Biden said, which was not actually factually accurate as far as I can tell. That's worrying because it makes me worry that the president is being given information about his political standing that may not be based in reality, that may be sunnier than is real.
God, that whole panel.
I know, right? The worst.
That's just the worst of the worst. And like the foursome. It's like the fearsome, awful foursome. I just,
They are
imagine
the worst
foursome.
Well, you could if you added SE Cup to it.
Oh, okay. There you go. Megan's best friend, right?
Yes, Megan's best friend. She's angry. She's very, very angry. And here she is to explain why.
It was hard to watch. Yet another hard to watch Biden event. And it doesn't make me, I'm not sad and I'm not laughing at it. I'm actually pretty mad. I'm mad at Joe Biden and Democrats because I gave them my first Democratic vote in 2020 with the express understanding and promise that he would be a one-term president put there to get Trump out. He did it. That's why I voted for him. He said he'd be a bridge. Now, I've known for years that he...
Can we just pause really fast? Do you remember that? Do you remember Biden saying that he was only going to be a one-term president?
Nope, I don't remember
I don't either.
Okay, don't remember that at all.
How did I miss that?
Did somebody tell him and Jill? Because I don't think that's because just with what I said earlier, I don't think that they had that in mind. So...
Yeah, I don't know where she got that, but I could be wrong, but I genuinely do not remember that being a thing.
Don't remember that either. No.
Okay, here, I'll just let her continue.
He is too old to run again for another 4-year term. And I was told by Democrats that he could still beat Donald Trump. Neither of those things are true. He cannot do another 4 years. He cannot beat Donald Trump. I feel a bit hoodwinked. And I'm angry. And as a Nikki Haley voter, there are lots of us, millions of us, in fact, who were still voting for Nikki Haley even after she conceded.
Oh my God.
There are lots of us to be gotten. And if Democrats really wanted to invigorate the ticket, they'd get rid of Joe Biden with a very nice thank you. Thank you for doing the job. Now it's time to move aside, and we're going to put someone in who can win millions of me, who gave the vote in the first place, and the rest of the votes that are up for grabs that are not already with Donald Trump. That they are sticking with this man is infuriating, irresponsible, and it's political malpractice. Do you think, Leah, that the
political malpractice? Yeah.
I love how mad she is, though. I love it.
Yeah, it's political malpractice, but like having somebody behind the scenes run a puppet and that you voted for, is that political malpractice? Like these people, like so she turned Democrat just for 4 years.
Just to get rid of Trump.
Just to get rid of Trump. She and Megan both, by the way, who Megan is just like all of a sudden clutching her pearls and outraged that I can't believe they're so mean to this guy. I mean, I can't believe that the family is doing this to him. Oh my God, shut up.
Well, and Abby Phillip is trying desperately to hang on to any shred of coherence that Biden displayed in his big boy presser. Scott Jennings not having any of it.
Breathing a sigh of relief because they think Biden might stay. But the question is, I mean, Biden had a command of the policy tonight in a way that I'm not sure that you could even say Trump would.
I mean, did he? I mean, I wasn't too happy with some of his answers on Israel.
You may not like it, but he had answers.
Okay. I mean, and you know what? That's fine. Let's debate his views on foreign policy. By the way, his entire administration was brought down because of foreign policy in August of 2021. When he went underwater on his job approval and has never come back, it was because of foreign policy. I can't believe all the people high-fiving themselves in the Democratic Party over his command of foreign policy tonight. I didn't think he was very good on Israel today. I thought he had some rambling answers on some of the political stuff. He had some weird answers on the polls. It's obvious to me that his wife and son are not letting him see the actual state of his political affairs. But yes, I agree. He did enough to continue to limp along in the forest and not lay down and die, I guess. I mean, and that's good for Donald Trump because he's beating Joe Biden right now. And I don't think it's particularly close.
It was hard to watch. Yet another hard to watch Biden event, and it doesn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's where
I
she
guess I
picked
played
up.
those out of order.
Yeah, that's where she picked up. Yeah. That guy just nails it every single time. It's hard not to, though, with those people.
Yeah.
Like he's probably like, God, I'm surrounded by idiots.
Right.
This is so easy. Like, what a great job that is.
I know.
That actually would be kind of fun. Just like being surrounded by all those morons and you're just like, God, it's just like so easy to get this paycheck.
The moment that Biden did mess up Kamala's name, there was a camera angle on his cabinet. And, you know, you can read body language even when it's very, very slight. And if you want to see the reactions of Blinken, of Austin, and then particularly of who's the snaky lizardy guy?
Oh God, I don't know.
Jake Sullivan.
Oh, yes.
They're all in a row listening when that moment happened, and you'll see the subtle but very noticeable
they were in
reaction.
despair.
I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be vice president, but I think she was not qualified to be president. So let's
Jake's about
start
to
there.
cry.
Number one.
He holds his face.
The
He's like,
fact
I'm
is
gonna.
that the consideration is.
Oh my God, I love that.
Blinken's thinking about like going and playing his guitar somewhere in the Ukraine, but like but the rest of them were just like, oh shit. What have we done? Listen, they're all like paycheck. We're going to get a paycheck. That's all that matters.
right.
We just want our paycheck. Yep.
Douche Elias, thank you. He says, reconnect the Nord Stream pipelines. Dems need more gaslighting fuel. Jose Rodriguez says, it has become apparent to me that the sweet meteor of death has bad aim. Just take my money.
So true.
Michelle Boyd says, everything feels like I've been cast in a B-rated end times movie. The BS is so very thick right now. Indeed. Karen
Crazy.
Elliott says, morning chicks, the debate was bad, the presser was bad, and now I found a snake, aka danger noodle, in the yard. So I now have to burn the backyard and move. I just can't anymore. Love you gals. Oh my God.
Oh my God is right.
And then Douche Elias says, when you can't fix stupid, it becomes reality.
It's true. Like we're so dumbed down now.
So dumb.
Everything is so dumb.
There is other news to get to. I know it's surprising that isn't all that's happening, but one important thing that happened is that Josh Hawley and some Democrat senators came to a bipartisan agreement, at least for now, we'll see what happens in the House, to stop congressional insider trading. So that
great.
means you, Nancy Pelosi.
After she's already made gajillions of dollars.
Right?
Yeah.
But it's a start, and here he is to just give a quick summary.
The truth is, Congress should not be here to make a buck. Congress should be here to serve the American people.
I love him.
There is no reason why members of Congress ought to be profiting off of the information that only they get, that the rest of the American people don't get. And I don't care, even if you don't have so-called insider information or information not available to the public, why should members of Congress be spending their time day trading rather than focusing on the priorities that the American people sent us here to achieve and focus on? I mean, it's really simple, and you don't have to explain it to anybody in America. The only people you have to explain it to are here in this building. The only people who don't seem to understand why stock trading should be banned are here in the Capitol. Every American gets it. And they're right to get it. There is no reason why the personal profit of members of Congress should come first. It should come last. It shouldn't be a consideration at all. And I'm proud to say I think this bill takes a giant step forward to getting to that place.
That's freaking awesome.
Right? Good for
Yeah,
them.
it is
Good
really, really
for
great.
them.
Yeah, good for him. That's awesome.
We mentioned yesterday that the pier, the famous humanitarian aid pier on the Gaza Strip, which was a complete fail. I think we spent $230 million on it, and it's being dismantled after 21 days. That was one of the things that John Kirby was asked about by Wolf Blitzer.
U.S. pier there is set to be permanently removed, as you know, as the UN says famine is spreading after at least 3 more children died of malnutrition. Why has the U.S. failed, at least so far, to get more humanitarian aid, desperately needed humanitarian aid, food, water, medicine, into Gaza?
Well, again, with respect, Wolf, I think I would dispute the premise there that we haven't failed. I mean, the United States has been leading the world in trying to get humanitarian assistance into Gaza, and we've been trying all different ways to do it. In fact, we want to get caught trying, and in this case, we tried the pier, the temporary pier. We said from the beginning that that wasn't exactly what this pier was designed to do over a long period of time, and that it would be a hard, complicated task. It proved to be that. It's also very susceptible to the weather.
It's very susceptible to the weather.
It's super susceptible, you guys. So
the engineers didn't know that, apparently, before they spent the $230 million.
You guys, we just literally piss our money away and nobody cares.
It's true.
You know, we don't care. And then this is the thing, like, I know we had Kennedy talking the other day about how we need to rein spending in and how we're going to be 50 trillion in debt just in a few years. It's like, it's coming, it's looming. And everybody talks about taking our Social Security away. Like it's no big deal. You know, I've been paying into that since I was 14. They better not take that away from me. I swear to God.
They're taking it. They're going to take it.
I swear. I rely on that. I am counting on that. And that really, really,
you shouldn't.
I do. I'm gonna need it. I'm gonna need that. Like I know plenty of people in here that are gonna need it too. That's my money. You know, taxation is theft. And when I say taxation is theft, that's what I mean. They stole that money from me. If I don't get that money back, that's theft. And the fact that they give it to other countries to build piers and it just what are they doing? That's my money. Theft.
And you know that whoever the government contractors are that built the pier, it's not like they took the money and ran. You know what I mean? So
and you know what else?
They're no worse off. And they probably created a terrible product that there's no guarantee for, clearly.
Right.
And they just get off scot-free.
Not only that, but if they're a government worker, they're getting a pension.
Mm-hmm.
I have to pay for my own damn retirement. So this is why I get pissed off. And people get all salty with me about government workers. Why you get so mad about government workers? That's why. That's why.
Everybody loves a good man on the street interview, especially when an anti-Trump lunatic cannot articulate their own hatred, their own reason for their hatred for Donald Trump. So specifically, this is a gay, it's probably like a gay pride event of some sort. I believe that the person doing the questioning is also gay. I could be wrong about that, but regardless, he is a Trump supporter and he is asking these other gay people, why do you hate Trump? Why do you think Trump hates gays? It doesn't go well.
Coming up, have you thought about who you're voting for?
Yeah, I voted for Biden.
Why?
Because he is the less of all evils. Like,
he voted for the Defense of Marriage Act, though, to ban you from getting married.
Oh, so you're voting for Trump?
He's the first president to enter office supporting gay marriage. So you just said that's something. Yes, I am.
Ew.
Why?
Gross.
Why?
Disgusting.
You just said gay marriage is your most important thing.
Ew. Thank you. You are. What the is wrong with you?
Why?
You are a disgusting person.
That's not nice. Why? Why am I disgusting?
I'm done with this interview. I think that you've been brainwashed.
Well, how have I been brainwashed? So I couldn't come up with.
You're voting for Trump and you're a gay man. His ideologies create hate. No, I'm not leaving.
What has Trump done against gay people?
He has completely up our rights.
Which rights?
Immediately when he went into the White House.
Which rights?
Which rights? Oh, don't do that.
Which rights?
Don't do that.
Okay. This one individual has not done that,
So he has not done what you just said he did.
However, the propaganda against gay people has gone
Such
against the
as?
entire country, such as hating gay people. Like,
What has he done to hate gay
Trump
people?
just had a gay wedding at Mar-a-Lago, literally a few
You just had a gay wedding at his house.
He just had a
If he hates gay people, he sucks at it.
I mean, this is the thing. They can never give you examples ever.
Nope.
Same with racism too.
Yeah.
You know, you start saying, what about racism?
Give me an example. Show an example.
Give me an example. Yeah. And don't use Charlottesville.
And don't say Muslim ban, because neither of those things are true.
Debunked, 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 debunked. You can't.
Fake.
Yeah.
And then lastly, before we get to DD, we have another beauty from Lyle Culpepper, who I'm a huge fan of. And so I'm not even going to set this up. You guys just need to see it.
And I'm Abu Fauci, and we're here in Washington Square Park to find out how many people can get signed up for our brand new dating app, Jihadis. Would you be interested in signing up for an anti-Zionist dating website?
I'm in.
I support your cause. Yeah, it's an anti-Zionist dating app.
I love it.
Have you ever dated a Zionist before?
No.
We just try to keep it, Zionist clean, no Jews.
Yeah. Not f*** the Zionists. Like, I'm telling you right now, in the next 10 years, there is not going to be no Israel.
You don't even need marriage, bro, 72 virgins.
So awkward, that's my ex-husband.
Would you date a Hamas?
Would I date a Hamas? Not opposed.
Hell yeah.
Not.
The problem is you run across a Zionist every time.
So not on here. How old is your human shield? Oh, it's a big one. I was going to say, I love your pin.
Oh
the
my
pin is
God.
awesome.
I think this is awesome too.
Thank you. Are you Woody Allen?
I am a Nazi. Want to join? And if he wants to martyr himself, would you be comfortable? To marry a martyr?
What's a martyr?
Would you be supportive if that was I'm actually my calling is martyr?
Would I be supportive?
Yeah.
Well, the jury is in. People love jihad and people love jihadis.
Jihadis for making hot Hamas babies in the diaspora.
Check out jihadis on an anti-Zionist app store near you.
Oh my God. I saw one of those like pro-Palestinian freaks in she went into Congress or something and was, I don't know, she was yelling about some harpy. And she had that scarf around her waist like a mini skirt.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, do you not even understand how stupid you look? I go wear that in Palestine and see what they do to you, you stupid hag. She had it on as that's what she had on as her clothes. It was a mini skirt. You can't explain this to these people.
Right.
I mean, I remember walking down the street in 93 in Boston getting yelled at because I was wearing a mini skirt by Middle Eastern people. And I just remember thinking, well, that's weird. This is their culture. They don't like. So for her to be doing that and being pro-Palestine, yay. It's I want Sharia law here. It's so great. Okay. Go over there in that mini skirt. We'll see how well you do, lady.
My favorite part of that by far was when he asked about the kid and said, how old is your human shield? I can't. Oh my God. All right. It is time for your DD.
Okay. Well, first off, you guys need to go to locals and, become a member of our locals community because those are your people and it's not Facebook. And you're not going to get shut down there, which is a great place to be. So definitely check that out. And I saw this yesterday and I just thought they were super cute. And it reminded me of what Mock and her husband will be in 20 years.
On the road again. We're going to Florida on the road again. We've got our donuts and a tank that's full of gas. We're happy and we're on the road again.
That's so Miriam and Ron, you guys. You have no idea.
I mean, it's me. I don't know how Ron it is.
Oh, in 20 years, he's so you're gonna make him join in. The only difference is they're gonna have matching outfits. And they'll be in a convertible. But they're gonna have their donuts and they're gonna be we're going
There will be donuts. There's absolutely gonna be donuts.
We're gonna go on a road trip. And the road trip will be maybe 20 minutes away, but it'll be a road trip. And she was definitely in the passenger seat. The woman.
Oh yeah, for sure. I will always be.
Once Mock gets to South Carolina, she will not be driving ever again.
Unless I just wanna, because I'll have a convertible.
That's
and
true.
I want to be in it.
That's true.
Tammy RN, thank you. Tammy says, just want to wish my lifelong Republican mom, Ruby friend, a happy 80th. Oops, I mean 50th anniversary of her 30th birthday on Sunday. She is a true gem, our family's brightest bling. Aw, that's cute.
Happy birthday.
Laura Taylor says, that's Mike Harlow. I don't know who
Mike Harlow.
that refers to.
I don't know.
Maybe it was the gay guy asking the questions, maybe.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
not sure. Possibly. C Noons, thank you. She says, give me back what I paid, what my dad, uncle, grandfather paid and did not collect as they died too early, and I will put it into an account I choose.
This is the thing.
Amen.
I think, like, get rid of Social Security if you're not going to give me my money because you stole it from me, you jackholes.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? If I don't get it back, I think we should hire a lawyer and we should sue the federal government.
Yeah, but then we'll just pay more for lawyers' bills. And we won't see a dime.
I bet you there's a lawyer out there that will do it for free because that lawyer is also not getting Social Security.
But the government will use lawyers paid for by taxpayers to fund their side. And then we're totally effed.
They're taking our money
no matter what.
They're taking our money anyway. So, we should sue them.
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to work. But whatever. I mean, we're getting screwed regardless, so might as well try to fight it.
Totally.
All right. For today's schlong, we have a few videos to show you about entitlement. So this first one is the one, Daisy found this, and this is what sparked the whole discussion amongst our digital team about entitlement. Very, very interesting perspective. Here it is.
Could start over today at a job that pays me $3,000 a month, and in less than a year, I would be back to being a millionaire.
From your perspective, what keeps people broke in today's world?
They spend too much money on shit that they don't need. You don't need to do that. Like, dude, I hear people all the time. The biggest problem we have in our culture right now is entitlement. Everybody thinks that they're owed something. You're not owed shit. No one's coming to save you. Stop living this fucking life that you think you deserve. You don't deserve shit. Dude, if I went back and I had to make $3,000 a month, I'm not kidding. I would find 4 roommates, a place that was $1,000 a month. We would split it. I would be driving Uber because I wouldn't have a car. I would be cooking my meals. I wouldn't be spending money on anything. I'd probably have the same fucking outfit every day. Dude, you've got people in Africa wearing the same clothes, eating 1 meal a day. They're not spending any money. And you're telling me you can't live like that? That's garbage, dude. You just think because you live here that you're owed the house and the apartment and the car and the ring and the watch. That's bullshit. You're not owed any of that. You didn't earn it. And until you earn it, you can't have it. I keep hearing this like minimum wage bullshit. Fuck the minimum, dude. You deserve nothing. My assistant, he's from Mexico. All the people usually that come across from Mexico, they're the hardest workers. You know why? Because they're living in dirt huts. They have nothing. They're not expected to have anything. They don't have any entitlement. They're here, hey man, I'm just here to fucking work and I'm trying to make as much money as I can so I can send it back to my family. For some reason, people here in the United States think that we're owed something. You are owed nothing, and your entitlement is going to keep you broke the rest of your life.
I mean, when I saw that, I was like, he's kind of right. I mean, he has some. I know that the economy sucks right now. I get it. It's a lot worse. And kids will always be like, boomers ruined it for us. They climbed up the ladder and then they kicked the ladder and we can't. They constantly say that. I see that all over, the internet. But I'm like, okay, but when I was starting out, I did have a bunch of roommates and I did eat ramen and I lived in a shitty place and there was pee in the hallways. I mean, like it was gross. And like there were differences. I didn't get my nails done. I didn't get my lashes done. I didn't have nice makeup. There were a lot like these girls, they look on the internet and they're like, I have to be like all these other girls and I have to have these nice things and they're influencers. And I mean, it is different. Like the level of living is different than it was when we were first starting out. I mean, it was pretty gross. Some of the stuff that we were willing to accept.
And we worked a bunch of jobs.
Right. I mean, God, I had 3 jobs even in my 30s, So I don't, it's just different now. It's different. I think that they expect a certain way of life earlier than we did. And that guy has a lot of great points. He really
does. And he's not alone. There's another guy that echoes that sentiment that I'll play in just a second. But it's interesting too that we even call some things entitlements. Now, Social Security, I would argue, actually is, because we did pay into it. It is our money. But there are other the fact that we use that word, or Democrats use that word at all, is kind of the point. Like, Democrats always say it's a right. Healthcare is a right. This is a right. It's a human right for you to have all of these things. But that doesn't take into account the fact that someone's labor is required to provide those things.
Yes.
So it's not just the things appear, everybody gets a house, yay. That's not how it works. And so it's a very Democrat perspective to view things like it's human rights.
It's a very socialist perspective.
Right.
To view it as a human right. A lot of those things. And Democrats now are freaking socialists.
Yeah. And I like the fact that this is, it was very, very easy to find a lot of videos that related to this theme. Here's another guy that's similar.
Idea that that one is deserving, or that one is entitled to anything. You're not entitled to anything. You don't necessarily deserve anything. All you have control over is how you direct your attention and how you comport yourself. What are the actions that you're taking, how you're responding to the world around you. And when you drill that down into the tiniest little things that you're doing every single day and try to repeat that with just rigorous, relentless consistency, that is how you move mountains. That's how you build mountains. That's how you change your life.
I love that.
Right?
I love it. And I don't know. Right there. And I think that Gen Xers and boomers, I think we had that mentality growing up. I really do, for the most part, because we were willing to live in, crappy places and do what needed to be done to just scrape by. Like, we were willing to hustle.
Right.
For lack of a better phrase. I mean, I say that to my kids all the time. I'm like, sometimes I wish that they understood what it means to hustle, because they don't have, they're not in a situation where they have to hustle like I do.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I always say that they're a little spoiled. Our kids are a little spoiled because it's more comfortable for them than it was for me. And it was for my husband. And I always say, as long as you don't get spoiled rotten, but you are a little spoiled. Because it's more comfortable. And when you're comfortable, you tend to expect things more.
That is the perfect segue, because what's super interesting about this whole concept is that there's a video that you're going to see next of the 5 stages of dependency. And there's actually, this made so much sense about why so much of what we do out of compassion and this desire to help people is actually really dangerous. Check this out.
I don't know if you've heard of the book Toxic Charity by Robert Lupton, but he talks about 5 steps to dependency. If you give something to somebody once, they'll appreciate it. If you give the same thing to that person again, they'll anticipate that you're going to do it a 3rd time. If you give it a 3rd time, they're going to have an expectation that you'll do it a 4th. If you give it a 4th time, they'll feel entitled to it, and a 5th time, they'll be dependent on you for it. It's appreciation, anticipation, expectation, entitlement, and dependency.
Yes.
I have seen that downward track for far too many people. And after more than 20 years of working among the poor, and now working with leaders across the nation in various cities who are also fighting poverty, I'm convinced that we are in a national crisis of dependency.
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes.
Right?
Yeah, because it used to be, and we wrote about this in our book, that it was a hand up. We used to give people a hand up, and now we give them a hand out. And it's like they're in that hammock and they're never getting out. They don't ever want to get it. Why would they ever want to get out? Why would they ever want to get out of a situation where they're relying on, the sugar daddy government, us, the taxpayer, to get out of that situation? It used to be also that there was shame attached to it.
Right.
There's no shame. No shame anymore.
Yeah, now there's GoFundMe.
Yeah, people. Yeah, it is blatant. I want money from this person. I expect it. I'm entitled to it. No shame at all. And if you guys recall, like our parents, our grandparents, they would have rather died than ask for money from somebody.
Oh my God.
I would rather die than ask for money from somebody. And it's a generational thing. You know, and then you see a lot, you see millennials and you know, younger people, they have no problem asking for money. They have no problem saying, gimme.
Yeah, here's my wish list for my birthday or Christmas or whatever.
Right, exactly. It's gross.
Yeah, it is. And now, we should put a disclaimer before we close out this segment that obviously there are needy people and people should want to help. There is a difference between a hand up. And lots of times people need a hand up, and everybody around should be willing to pitch in when they can and where they can. But there's a huge difference between that and just showering people with endless supplies of other people's money without expectations of any self-interest, without expecting. That's why, you know, welfare to work programs are so important. If you're able-bodied, you need to be out there hustling, right? Not just sitting on your ass collecting a check from taxpayers.
Right. And then on a grander scale, like if you're in a position where you do have a lot of money and you're doing that in an upper class situation, you end up with a Hunter Biden.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's exactly
who is just entitled to whatever mommy and daddy is giving him, and then they'd never amount to anything. It's just a perfect example of that, you know?
Shelly, thank you. Shelly Ethington says, attending a celebration of life today for another veteran lost to suicide, a young man I watched grow up. Pray for our military men and women. So sorry about that. Laura Taylor, thank you. Laura says, Mike is friends with Brandon Strzok from the Walk Away movement. He is a gay Trump supporter. We've had him on our show a couple times.
We definitely have.
Very familiar with Brandon.
Yep.
And C. Douglas, thank you. She says, my husband and I furnished our apartment with hand-me-downs from family, not the IKEA stuff of today.
Yeah. Or even, or nicer. Oh my God. I did the same thing where I would take like bits and pieces from people and like flea markets and free stuff that you could find. Right. And you'd be like,
until you've had a brick and wood plat bookshelf, you have not suffered.
Exactly. I totally agree. Or you take a couch from somebody, you just hope to God there's not cockroaches in it.
Right.
It's so true. Yeah.
All right. It's time for some My Pillow Toks, and we've got cute animals today, you guys. Cute animals like this one. This fellow was told for the first time clearly that he's adopted.
You come here. I gotta tell you something. I gotta tell you something. You sit?
Oh, he's so cute.
Good. You adopted. I'm sorry.
The betrayal.
His face.
I mean,
he's so cute. So cute.
So cute. This is completely amazing. So I'm terrified of bees and wasps. Like they're the terrorists of the sky.
Yeah, I don't like
bees.
them.
Bees are fine because they have a purpose.
Wasps are
wasps.
Oh they are terrorists. Total terrorists.
Total sky terrorists. But I am afraid of bees, even though I appreciate the work that they do. I'm afraid of them. And it amazes me when people aren't. There's a lot of people, for some reason, like I get the bee algorithm, and there's these amazing women, mostly who end up in my feed, where I see them go and like dismantle giant hives without any protective gear. And I'm just like, how are they doing that? So this woman loves bees, loves them, and completely does not mind this bee in her face. Watch this.
Oh my God.
I would be like,
I know. I'd be freaking out too.
It gets more amazing though. Watch.
Come back. Come hang out. Oh my God, he's at my phone screen. He was at my phone screen. You get, oh my gosh. Hi. You want to come say hi?
Oh my God. She's like high, like a dog. Why is she doing that? It's going to crawl on her face.
I'll let you do you.
Oh my God. Why is she doing that?
And that she's not flinching or like freaking out at all.
Yeah, he's going to crawl in there. Why is she doing that? Oh my God. He probably likes the sweetness of her lip gloss.
She thinks he's thirsty.
Okay. Well, I'd be closing my mouth at the very least.
Anyway, Like I could never
I
do that.
couldn't do that either. Oh my God.
That was
Yeah.
just insane.
Mhm.
Anyway, there is also, remember the Camp Tono story, the ice cream girl?
Yes.
So if you don't know the Camp Tono story and the reason that we call all of our events Camp Tono, it's because there was this darling toddler whose father was trying to get her to say ice cream. And her name was Delta. And he said, Delta, say ice. And she would say ice. And he would say, Delta, say cream. And she would say cream. And he'd say, Delta, say ice cream. And she'd say, Camp Tono. So this is kind of along those lines.
Pop. Sickle. Popsicle.
Okay, bye.
Okay, we can totally call our next meet and greet that.
Fuck a bus.
Fuck a bus. That's what we could call it. I'm sure people would really love that. Where are you going? Oh, I'm going to fuck a bus in Texas. That's where I'm going. I'm sure people would really. We get a lot of people going to that. Yeah.
I love that. And then we have, I think this is a what is this? This is a husky. This is a husky. We got to end out the week with some huskiness.
I love him.
I know.
It was awesome. That was fantastic.
Love him.
Do I need to get my dogs? Do I need to try to get a flap? Okay, hold on.
Yeah, you
Hold
do.
on.
It is Friday. We need Friday flapperation, flapularity, if you will. Some flapification is what we need all up in here. Who's with me? That's right.
He already flapped. He already.
Oh, you can do it again. You can get him again.
See if we can get a. Can I get a flap from you? Oh no, he's already flapped like 3 times. Can you flap again? Flap. Come on. I have to stand back because it's World War III. He's flapped twice, you guys. I don't know if he's going to.
We didn't see it or hear it.
See if we can flap again. Can you? I can't. Okay, flap. He's not doing it. He's flapped twice. Can you flap? No, he's too busy. He's too busy beating up on his brother. You guys, I'm sorry. Did you hear it? You guys heard it. Some people heard it. He flapped twice.
Some people heard it. You tried.
You guys, okay. Did we bring it in? Did we bring it in already?
Oh, I don't know if I did.
You guys, I'm off to a swim meet for the weekend. I hope everybody has a fabulous weekend. Mock's going to be refinishing furniture. She's living the dream. She's living the dream, you guys. Everybody have a fantastic weekend. We'll talk to you on Monday. Bye. It's World War III back here.